Shalom, shalom. All right, before we begin, we have to give all praise, honor, and immense glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh, double honors to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. Okay? You know, we're here to prophesy the downfall of America, aka Babylon. It's to fish for the hopeful members of the elect. All right? So we want to get into the origins of the devil, all right, really the Edomites. So we're going to start at 2nd Ezra chapter 6. I go to 7, all right, because we're here to break down these scriptures in all sincerity and truth. And we're going to tell you the origins of the Edomites, all right, who are really the progenitors of the so-called white race today, the Caucasians. And they're the ones that's ruling the whole earth. The international banking families, they control this whole infrastructure. All right, they got you people in a loophole. All right, so we're gonna go into the origins of where this man came from, who he is today. All right, and what is he doing today? All right. So go to 2nd Ezra. Hold on. Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Again.
Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right, so go to 2nd Ezra chapter 8. So Ezra is asking the angel, when shall there be a transition in the kingdoms? Because the world we live in right now, it's a certain class of people that's ruling everything that you see. All right, it's a certain nation, okay? Because there's 18 nations according to this Bible. And there's a nation that's ruling the whole world as we speak. Okay, so Ezra is asking the angel, when will there be a transition of kingdoms? Basically, when will the sons of God, the Israelites, rule? Okay? No? Yeah.
2nd Ezra 8, verse 1. And he answered me, say, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
Right, so the Most High made this world for many. All right, this current era that we're in, the Most High has made this world for many. All right, for all you heathens, this is your kingdom, starting with Esau, Edom. But guess what? The world to come, which the brother's gonna read, is only made for few, starting with the first fruits. All right, the tabernacle of David is gonna be the elect. All right, the Alahayim coming back. Okay, and through their loins, the 2/3 going to come back, and thus the whole nation is going to rule this whole universe, this whole world. All right, when our big brother Yahushai returns.
Verse 2, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of the present world.
Right, so just how mold forms, all right, when something gets old, hey, it's likened unto this kingdom, how it's going to come to its end. All right, we're in the moldy stage, okay, and the Lord's going to come and dust this place off, all right, because now we're in a transition of a kingdom. All right, this energetic vibration is due to this international banking families, the Edomites. But then it's going to be a translation, and we're going to rule the kingdom forever, though. You know why? Because we're going to have the law, statute, commandments in our inward parts, in our minds, pursuant to Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. All right? And thus we're going to be immortal, because having the law, statute, commandments, being righteous will immortalize you. But it's only given to a certain nation. That's the nation of Yasha'Allah. All right? The sons of God. Because we're the manifestation of the Most High upon the earth. All right, but go back to our 2nd Ezra chapter 6, man. Where you left off.
Oh, you want me to read one more? It says, there'll be many created.
Right, you can read that. Yeah.
Verse 3, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved.
Right, so many souls are on this earth. All right, many souls were created, but only few are going to be saved in this last go around. Okay? And how are they going to be saved in what you call UFOs? All right, those are chariots in the Bible. All right, pursuant to Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. Okay? And what you call UFOs are not little green men, they're not aliens, no. Those are the angels in there, so-called Negroes. All right? Angels, chariots from the fifth dimension. We're talking about spiritual technology here, man. Something that's out your comprehension. All right? That's not given unto you mortal souls, man. All right? You bangless souls out here, which you're going to be destroyed soon. You so-called white people are going to be enslaved in slavery for 1,000 years. All right? You're going to be wiped off this earth, man. All right, read. Let's go.
Verse 8.
No, let's go back. 2nd Ezra chapter 6.
Yeah, 2nd Ezra 6 verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him.
See, hey, the angel, this is the angel speaking out to Ezra. See, he's replying him back. All right? Now he's saying from Abraham unto Isaac unto Jacob. Why did he mention these particular men? Because this is where the reestablishment of the sons of God will come back. This is where the Most High made the covenant. Because when the flood happened and Noah and his sons were saved, all right, that bringing back forth the sons of God came back through Noah, through Shem, going all the way to Abraham where the Most High made a covenant. All right, that's where the reestablishment of the sons of God came. You know, we were coming back through those through that patriarchy. All right, keep going.
It says, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Right, so this whole thing that you call life, it's all centered around the Israelites, around good versus evil. Okay, around the Israelites in this so-called era. All right, this transition, in this kingdom, right? It's all centered between good versus evil, the Israelites and the Edomites. Okay?
Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, so when Esau and Jacob were in the womb together, Esau came out first, okay? But Jacob came out second, and his hand held on Esau. His hand held on Esau's heel, signifying him bringing down his kingdom. What you're doing right now, we're preaching this word, all right? And we're sending out this vibrational, these words have vibration, man. All right, so us speaking this word, we're speaking into manifestation. That's how powerful the Most High's words are. We're pushing out this vibration through the earth. All right, that there will be a translation of kingdoms. That Esau's kingdom will go down. Okay, so this whole thing that you call life in this era is all centered around two entities. All right, good versus evil, the Israelites versus the Edomites. Okay, is that it? Read verse 9 again.
Verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, so Esau is the end of the world, okay? The end of this the end of this world. All right, the end of this era, this kingdom. But Jacob, we're gonna have next. We're gonna rule the kingdom forever, in all harmony and peace and balance upon the earth. All right, we're gonna rule with a righteous rule, okay? And we're going to push out that righteous vibration throughout the whole earth. Now give me Psalms. Because now we're going to get to the origin of this devil. Alright, hold on.
She had a shirt that said all saints.
Alright, call y'all about your shots, Israelites. Alright, give me Psalms 58, verse 4. Alright? Because we have to understand where this devil comes from. Okay? When we say the devil's not no red man with a pitchfork, no. All right, he has a physical manifestation, a counterpart upon the earth. All right, just like the Most High, he has a physical counterpart, a manifestation of his people upon the earth, because we're his glory. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you speckled birds, Israelites. All right, you're literally children of the Most High, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not. All right, so go to Psalms 58, verse 4.
Psalms 58 verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder.
Oh, but real quick, Salakia, I forgot to break down 2nd Ezra 6 verse 9 where it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. I know I broke it down, but that's all good. I just want to say one last thing, that this is how you know we're at the end as well. All right? This is how you know that we're literally that close to the kingdom of heaven coming, being established upon the earth. All right, just want to say that, you know. But that much more closer. Let's go back.
This is, you guys start at 3?
Nah, just
This is Psalm 58, Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Right, so the wicked, all right, that's the Edomites, okay? And they're estranged from the womb, meaning that they're off. They have a dysfunction about them. And really, if you go into that word estranged, it means they don't even care about their own kind. If you look at these Amalekites, all right, these fake Jews, they don't even care about the rest of the Edomites. These international baking families, they won't share the whole pie with their own descendants, okay? And they speak lies because this whole world is based on their pseudoscience, which is not factual, all right? It's just all theories, okay? It's make-believe, all right? Go back.
It says verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
All right, what's their poison? It's their ideologies, their philosophies, their way of life, their customs. All right, it's poison. Okay, that's like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. That's going to the serpent, this devil. All right, everything that he pushes out is all poison. Okay, because it goes against the Most High. All right, and if you're in rebellion against the Most High, really that equals to death. Okay, you're going against the traitor. All right. Give me Genesis 3 now. We're gonna start at 1.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Shem Yahushai power had made, and he said unto the woman.
Right. So now the serpent. Okay. All right, we just got in Psalms 58 that this man is likened unto a serpent with his poison. All right, and the serpent is very cunning. Okay, now we're talking about before the flood. All right, the ancient world, the first world. All right, where you had 3 classifications of people that all came out of Adam. All right, you had the sons of God, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. Okay, now let me go with you. Read that one more time.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Shem Yahushai power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High.
Right, and then when it goes to the beast of the field, the beast represents these other nations. I forgot what scripture it is. You can find it if you know it, but it says how we're like unto a speckled bird. And how we're amongst all of these beasts, meaning these other nations, all right? And we mix and mingle among these other nations, okay? But the beast of the field represents the other nations, all right? And the serpent is the so-called white man, all right? That evil, wicked, the evil, wicked race of people back then.
This is Jeremiah 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her.
Right, because, your lineage goes by your father, okay? But your mother, your mother is the incubator, right? She's the earth. The man is the seed, the mother is the earth, right? You plant an apple seed in China, you plant the same apple seed in Russia. They both grow up to be an apple tree. But they might look different, the attributes due to the environment, okay? But nevertheless, it's still an apple tree, all right? It's still gonna yield fruit, an apple, okay?
It's like not
So
amazing, so.
our people are like a speckled bird, but we will look like all these other nations. But yet, their lineage, if they go back to Israel through their father's side, they're an Israelite, they're a son of God, all right? A prince of the power.
Come.
And that was it. But we'll be amongst, read that one more time.
It says Jeremiah 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her. Come
Right,
ye.
the birds around about her are against her, all these other nations. Read.
Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field. come to devour.
Right, all these beasts of the field, all these other nations that are round about us devoured us. All right, that was part of a curse, punishment. All right, also that's going to be a recompense upon their own head, a reward, because they're going to be put in slavery. All right, well, go back to Genesis chapter 3 now.
Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. Yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent.
No, read verse 1.
That was where I started off.
Okay. No,
me to start at the top?
yeah, I always start at the top. Go back.
Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the
So
field.
we already got what the serpent was, okay? That was the wicked root, all right? The sons of the wicked back then before the flood, all right? In the first world, okay? This is the truth. This is in the Bible, whether you believe it or not, all right? Read.
Which Yahweh Shem Yahushai power hath made.
He was subtle because he was cunning, all right? He was crafty, okay? He already had all those other nations, the beasts of the field, swindled or dwindled by his philosophies. He already had them engulfed in his vibration as well, okay?
And he said unto the woman, yea.
No, read again. And he said unto the woman.
And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
So this is when the serpent are the sons of the wicked. Now you got a picture, all right? This is like it's like a real. These are real events. Somehow, some way, you know, our women, you know, ran into the sons of the wicked, and they started dealing with him somehow, some way. You know, she could have been getting water, and he came like, hey, you know, who knows, you know? But either way, he started whispering in her ear, so to speak, all right? And giving her, you know, his philosophies, his way of thinking, all right? This is this like literally takes time too, all right? This just didn't happen in one day, all right? No, this took time, okay? But it said you should not eat of every tree of the garden. The trees represent different people, all right? The different nations, all right? And going into their philosophies, okay? Keep going.
Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, ye shall not eat of it.
Right, so the fruit that we were supposed to take of was only the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding back then, the laws, statutes, and commandments, which was orally back then. We weren't supposed to dabble into these other philosophies that these other nations pushed out. Okay? Now give me real quick 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. And that's where we went off. Alright? Really it was a woman, it was Eve. And remember, it wasn't just Adam and Eve, it was just two people. No. It was actually the descendants of Adam. Alright? The sons of God upon earth. And it was actually Adam, the first man created, which was Yahushai. Okay, because everyone lived upon the earth longer. All right, the longest living man was Methuselah. He lived around about 969. But these are talking about the descendants, okay, of the sons of God back then. Read.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands.
Right. So, because man, this is some deep history right here. Because it's like, all right, go to 2nd Ezra. Because you have to remember how earth was made, all right? When it says it was created in 6 days and the Most High rested in the 7th day, it's really going to thousands of years, all right? Because one day unto the Lord is a 1,000 years in our time. And if you go to Genesis, the 1st chapter, God, it says Allah Hayyin, which means the powers, all right? So go to 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Verse 6, verse 50.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 50. And didst separate the one from the other for the seventh part, namely where the water was gathered.
No, 47, my bad.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 47. Upon the 5th day thou saidest unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes, and so it came to pass.
Right. So on the fifth day, this is when living creatures and men came upon the earth through Adam. All right. And then through Adam, he had his sons and his descendants, and then later they split off. All right. And then they created the three classifications of people back then. All right. The sons of men, which were the heathens, and the sons of the wicked. All right. And the sons of God. Okay, so through their descendants, really it was like a malfunction. They didn't carry the essence of a prince of power. All right, they had a dysfunction, but it was supposed to be that way because the heathen were created for our inheritance. They were just fillers. All right, so even the heathens came out of us as well. Okay, but they were meant to be a heathen. But go on.
Verse 48, for the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High.
Right, because we all came out the waters. All right, when this whole earth was created, it was filled with it was a majority of water, really. All right, it was a majority of water, and that's where life comes throughout the waters. Okay, come from the ground. All right. However, we're gonna see it back then, aren't we? We're gonna see everything, but the Most High is very complex. All right, creating the genomes and the sperms and the different bacteria. But either way, man came out of that. All right, starting with Yahushua Adam, then having descendants. All right, and then creating those lines of the sons of God, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. Okay,
Like a baby.
right, exactly.
It says that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Verse 49, then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan.
Right, so those are man and beast. Okay, man upon the earth, Enoch, and the Leviathan. That's the God. That's the sea. That's the king of the sea. All right, which dwells over there in the Pacific in the Mariana, or what's it called, the Mariana Trench. But either way, those are the two living creatures on land, and on sea. All right, now jump to verse 53. So man was created on the fifth day. All right, we lived a whole 1,000 years without the law, statutes, and commandments. We were just like the heathen. But go.
Jumping to 53. Upon the sixth day thou gavest commandment unto the earth that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
So after the sixth day, which is the 6,000 years, this is when the Most High put that breath of life in Adam. All right, He put the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, keep going.
Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So everyone comes out of Adam, and also the people whom He has chosen, which are the sons of God. All right, the Israelites back then. Now go to 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 5. So it says, and gave us a body unto Adam without soul. So we lived 1,000 years on that fifth day we were created. We lived a whole 1,000 years without laws. All right, we were like heathens really. Okay, and then on the 6,000 year, the sixth day, then that's when the Most High put that breath in us. You see, it was approximate a time. Go.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 5, and gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe unto him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee.
Right, so that's when the Most High gave us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all right, back then, okay? Read.
Verse 6, and thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward.
Right, because the whole world back then, which is called Idan, it was a paradise, okay? And it says it leadeth him, it's talking about first Adam, which is Yahushua, because he was supposed to be the progenitor of righteousness. He was supposed to lead the way, all right, for the rest of his descendants, okay? To live in harmony, to have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding back then. All right, that was his job, okay?
Verse 7, and unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointedest death in him, and his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number.
Right, stop. So you see there, it said, thou gavest commandments to love thy way. So we had the laws back then. It was orderly, okay? But we transgressed. Really, first with Eve, all right? Through the woman came death, all right? But remember, we're going to get into it, but it was approximate a time. It just didn't happen in 3 days. No, this took years, centuries. Whispering in Adam's ear. Who knows what she was doing, man? You know? Who knows? All right, we'll see back then. Probably not giving the kebab. Either way, eventually we fell. Eventually we succumbed to that wickedness. And thus we fell as a people back then. All right? And sin equals death. Okay? We started living like the heathens. Well, we started to die like the heathens. All right? Because sin is our kryptonite. Okay? Now go back to Genesis chapter 3. Wherever you left off.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
All right, stop right there. So go to Mark chapter, let's see. Go to Mark chapter, Mark chapter 8, verse 24. Wide open. I wrote it down.
Oh, yep, you went over.
They're calling y'all much more shot. Lord, put us down. Bring this word out. Let's go.
It says, Mark chapter 8, verse 24.
So we're going to tell you what that tree was in the garden back then, okay? The tree, peons, you low-level mortals, you don't know, all right? The tree represents people, okay? The fruit represents philosophies, all right? Read.
Mark chapter 8, verse 24, and he looked up and said, I see men as trees.
Go start 23, actually.
23. It says, verse 23, and he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit in his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
Right, so the trees symbolize people, all right? That soon was in the garden was different nations back then. That's what the trees represent. It's just peoples, all right? Eve took actual fruit from off a tree and bit it. No, she succumbed to these other nations' philosophies, got Adam to succumb sooner or later, and thus we fell as a nation, all right? So go back to Genesis.
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the women, ye shall not die.
Go back to verse 3 actually.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 3. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right, we weren't supposed to know the philosophies of these heathens. We weren't supposed to know wickedness. We were only supposed to know righteousness. All right? Read.
Verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
See that? Here it is, the Allahayim told, all right, Adam, it was orally how the knowledge was and understanding to not dabble into the other philosophies, otherwise you will die. Sin equals death. And here it is, the serpent, all right, that wicked race coming to Eve, saying you won't surely die, all right? But here it is, the Most High already said that you're going to die. And he's doing the same thing, all right? You can be a sodomite, you can be wicked, go against the Creator, but guess what? The Most High is going to judge you, and He's going to issue out death. So here it is, the serpent was lying, just like he's doing today. All right, the serpent being the so-called white race, the Caucasians, today the Edomites. All right, everything they're saying, take the facts, take this ship. You can be whatever you want. You can be a do what thou will, but you're going against the Creator. You're going to die. All right. Go back.
Verse 5. Start at
5.
Verse 5. For the Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, when your eyes shall be opened, ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Right, and that's what happened. All right, we knew our eyes were open. We went into the left-hand side of philosophies, dabbled into their other gods and customs, way of life. All right, now we know both spectrums. It was all meant to be that way. Okay, to know good and evil, and to experience this hardship, to experience this hell. All right, it's part of this movie. Okay.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes.
So basically, the woman Eve, all right, she got hooked, like on drugs, all right. But really though, she got hooked. Once she started dabbling to that other, to that left-hand side, just like today, these women are hooked today of being a whore, being a slut, you know, be whatever they want to be, all right. They're hooked to this way of life. All right, this wicked vibration today. Okay.
Verse 6. And a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof.
Other philosophies.
And did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
And again, this is approximate time. All right, the woman, she's a weaker vessel. Okay, that's why the serpent didn't come to Adam first away. All right, because the woman is a weaker vessel, she succumbed to wickedness easily. All right, but through approximate time, she later came to Adam. All right, and he succumbed to wickedness. Okay, and who knows how it went? You know, we're gonna see in the kingdom. All right, but either way, Adam succumbed, and thus the falling away of the sons of God happened back then. You know, we started dabbling into the other philosophies going on. And remember, it wasn't just Adam and Eve, no, it was many of them, the sons of God, their descendants. It was Adam as well, the top, the hierarchy, because he was a patriarch, but it was also his sons, the sons of God going off. Spread that, you know, it was probably through approximate time, it was through approximate time, who knows? Around maybe the 500 year, you know? We'll know the kingdom. But either way, this is what happened.
Verse 7. And the eyes of both of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Right, so it says they knew that they were naked, all right? Naked signifies